They told her to take off her uniform like it was a joke. She smiled back like it was a mistake. They'd never forget. The desert sun beat down on the checkpoint, bleaching the sand and sharpening every shadow. Dust drifted in lazy spirals around an armored vehicle idling behind them. He grabbed the front of her jacket with 2 fingers, rough and confident, tugging it open as if authority belonged to whoever shouted loudest. Soldiers behind him stiffened, boots planted, rifles low but ready. The air went tight. This wasn't banter. This was a line being crossed. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. She stood there, shoulders squared, the heat crawling under her collar. Beneath the open jacket, inked wings spread across her chest, dark against sun-warmed skin. The man's jaw worked as he barked another order, louder this time, his breath sharp with anger. He thought compliance was a reflex. He thought fear was universal. He was wrong. She'd learned long ago that power often mistakes silence for weakness. Her name didn't matter here. Her record didn't either. What mattered was the way her pulse slowed instead of spiked. The way her mind cataloged distances, angles, the rhythm of the guard's breathing. The way the wind brushed past her ear, carrying the faint metallic hum of engines and the dry scent of sand. She had been trained in places where daylight burned and mistakes killed. This was daylight. This was a mistake. A murmur rippled through the small cluster of civilians watching from a nearby building. Contractors, mechanics, people who knew when trouble was brewing, but didn't know why. Someone lifted a phone, then lowered it again. No one spoke. Even the engine behind them seemed to idle quieter. "Take it off," he said again, tugging harder. "You don't wear rank here." She let him, just enough. The jacket parted, and the tattoo became unmistakable, an emblem known only to those who had earned it. She tilted her head, eyes steady, voice calm as still water. "You just told a Navy SEAL to strip." For half a second, nothing happened. A micro cliffhanger stretched the moment thin. The man laughed, too fast, too loud, until the laughter fell apart in his mouth. Behind him, boots shifted. Hands tightened on slings. One soldier's gaze flicked to the emblem, then to her face, recognition sparking like a struck match. She remembered her first night jump, the way fear had felt like clarity. She remembered the faces she'd left behind, the promises kept without applause. She'd learned restraint was strength. But so was timing. The man released her jacket. His color changed, heat draining from his cheeks. He tried to speak, then swallowed. The crowd leaned in without realizing it, the way people do when gravity shifts. A door clanged open. Coordinated movement followed, precise, unhurried. A small team approached from the far side of the vehicle, their presence filling the space like a tide. No shouting, no theatrics, just the quiet confidence of people who knew exactly where they belonged. Tools clicked into place. Radios murmured. The yard seemed to straighten itself. She zipped her jacket slowly, deliberately, reclaiming the boundary he'd crossed. Dust swirled around her boots as she stepped back, giving him room to stand down with dignity. That choice, mercy or escalation, hung there, heavy. He chose mercy, barely. The civilians exhaled, someone laughed in relief. The sun stayed bright. The desert didn't care, but the people did. Order returned not with force, but with understanding. Later, as the vehicle rolled away, and the heat softened into afternoon, she paused and glanced back once. Not triumphant, just resolved. She hadn't needed to prove anything. She'd only needed to be seen. Because respect isn't demanded, it's recognized. And under that relentless daylight, a jacket closed, a mistake ended, and a truth stood firm. If this story moved you, share where you're watching from and what moment stayed with you. And if you believe courage can be quiet, and justice can be calm, subscribe for more stories like this, told with heart, and meant to be remembered.